because she started it. She sparked it. And if it wasn't for that, the segregation on the bus wouldn't have been deemed unconstitutional. Well, then, now the courts are like, well, if you can't segregate on the bus, can you segregate other places? No.
Right.
Snowball, her one act changed everything. Welcome to Ill-Equipped History, where two besties tell you something about someone's life or something that happened. And in this case, it's someone, because it's Black History Month, y'all.
Woo!
So you know what we do? We highlight all of our wonderful Black people over history. I don't know how to say that. I almost said civil rights people, but then it's not even limited to that exactly. So,
right.
Yeah.
The people who sometimes get forgotten about in history due to the color of their skin.
Yes.
We're putting front and center for Black History Month.
100%. Even though today she's definitely not forgotten. She's kind of a big icon. I don't know how we haven't covered her yet.
It was just a matter of time.
Yeah, it was. So, yeah, guys, upon recording this, East Tennessee and Middle Tennessee have been put through the damn ringer. So,
oh my God. I'm not going to go.
You?
I'm not going to go as into it as I did on our bonus episode because it was still fresh. But Middle Tennessee especially has been going through the apocalypse. There are still hundreds of people, maybe thousands, without power still because of this ice storm. I did hear that the governor officially declared a state of emergency in the Nashville area.
Yeah.
So, I have one of my friends just got power back on after 8 days.
Yes.
And she was staying with us almost the entire time, which, again, not a problem. Love her. Happy for her that she's back at home. I have another friend who her family has had to stay at a hotel. I found out yesterday that there is a shortage of power poles because over 400 went down in Nashville, and we did not have enough to rebuild power poles, so they have to go get more. And some people aren't estimated to get power back until the 8th.
You are so lucky that you live in, like, kind of central hub of Nashville, that they probably focused on the middle and kind of went out. And that's probably why you got power so quick, because you were in the middle. You're so close to the airport that, like,
But what's crazy is that someone who only lives like a mile or two from me was without power for 5 days.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. How? Okay.
I don't know. It's been super random. I was talking to someone today, and she said that they never lost power, but her neighbors across the street were without power for 5 or 6 days.
What?
And, like, that whole side of the street didn't have power. I don't know. I don't know how the grid works in Nashville. But, it's been Ice-Mageddon. The sound, I've never heard the sound of trees exploding before. And it is terrifying.
That sounds horrid.
It sounded like bombs going off or gunshots. It was very scary.
When the snow came through for you, like when the ice storm came through last week for you, we got literally nothing but just like cold, wet. Mm-hmm. That's all we got. And then fast forward to this weekend, I'm thinking this is not going to be anything. They're telling me a storm's coming. I don't believe it. I'm meandering around town like nothing's happening. I don't stock up on crap. And I go home, we go to bed, and the kids end up in bed with us at some point. And Nick wakes up and he says, "Hey kids, go look outside and see if there's snow." And they very dramatically rip open the curtains. And I have a headache because it's morning and I haven't had coffee. I'm like, oh my God, why is it so bright outside? And I look over and I just see a sea of white because we have very large windows. And I'm like, oh no, it actually happened.
It snowed.
It snowed. Now, it was a measly, like, maybe 2 inches, maybe. Yeah. And we were able to, like, get in and out of the neighborhood, which is a feat if y'all know my neighborhood. Because Nick is an excellent driver and, you know, we have 4-wheel drive and it was quite powdery. It wasn't very icy. Mm-hmm. The ice wasn't really a concern until the next day because it was like, it never got over freezing. And then the next day it was like 18 degrees. So I've just been living in like fuzzy socks and big sweatshirts. Nick had it at 65 degrees today, so we're going to have a little discussion about that because he's not the one that works from home.
Right. See,
rude.
It's funny because we lost power and our friends came over and we had to make little makeshift heaters out of terracotta pots and candles. So we we use candles for light because no power, and it got dark at 4:30. Right. In the afternoon. Right. So we're like, okay, guys, what do we do? We're freezing and we can't exactly like read or play a game. Like we did play a card game, but we're all like huddled on the floor with like a lantern. But with our system, we got the room up to 65 degrees with it being like 15 degrees outside. And so we were really proud of that.
That's, those are 2 different 65 degrees. Those are 2 different. Because my HVAC was on. It was working. She was pumping. And I look over at the register and it says 65 and I wanted to holler. But you were so proud of that 65. You're like, look how high we got it. Those are 2 different 65. I'm telling you.
They were. They absolutely were.
Yep.
So, but there's still ice on the ground today, but we might be going back. Schools might be opening tomorrow. Not sure.
My kids are out. Doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't. It really doesn't, because there's still people who don't have power in Nashville, but they might. My school didn't have water until 1 o'clock today. 1 p.m. today.
My God. And you're going back tomorrow. And my kids, they're like, we just looked at the back roads and some of them are a little bad. So we're going to call it.
Craziness.
Y'all got some snow days to burn is what y'all.
Craziness.
Crazy. So we hope everyone listening has been safe.
Yes.
And you ready to kick off our February Black History Month episodes?
Yes, let's do it.
Woo! To the skit. In Montgomery, Alabama, in 1943, a woman is boarding a public bus to get home after a long day of work. She pays the fare and turns to walk towards the back of the bus down the center aisle.
Ma'am, you need to exit the bus and enter into the back.
She stands her ground.
No, thank you. I'll go this way. No, you won't. You'll go around like the rest of the colored people.
She still stands.
Ma'am, go around. No, you will go around. I would prefer not to.
He grabs her sleeve to try to force her off the bus. She wiggles her arm free and exits on her own accord. She does not go to the back of the bus like she is told. She instead leaves entirely, leaving the driver and passengers dumbstruck. This will not be the last time that Rosa Parks will take a stand on a public bus, but the next time she does will spark a movement so great that real change will be implemented and her legacy in the civil rights movement will be cemented in history.
Ooh, I got goosebumps.
Rosa Parks. I know. Yeah, I didn't know. We'll talk about it a little more, but I didn't know that this was not her first altercation on a bus. So I thought it would be really cool, instead of doing the obvious thing, to do the lesser known
Yeah.
thing as the skit. So let's get into her life. So I would like to say, as the first opening thing, I had another moment of divine intervention, I think, of the universe being like, talk about Rosa Parks, because her birthday is this week, February the 4th.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it is the day before this episode airs, so we can all say a belated happy birthday to Miss Rosa Parks.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I was going to bed last night thinking I need to research an episode, and something in my brain was like, Rosa Parks. So I woke up and I did it, and then it turns out that's her birthday week. So thanks, universe. So she was born in Tuskegee, Alabama, February 4th of 1913. And she was born Rosa Louise Macaulay. And her parents were James and Leona Macaulay. When she was just 2 years old, the family moved to Pine Level, which is right outside of Montgomery, to live with her maternal grandparents after her parents separated. And it's a really kind of sad that she actually wouldn't see her father again until she was an adult. And I don't know what circumstance there was. I don't know if he was a good guy, a bad guy. He just wasn't around for whatever reason. No one ever said anything more than that.
Okay.
And Rosa's mother was a teacher, and the family very much valued education. And one of the reasons that they valued education and, you know, so much is that her parents were born into slavery. It is crazy to think that someone who died in the early 2000s, her grandparents were born into slavery.
That is crazy to think about.
It's wild to me.
And it just goes to show it wasn't that long ago.
Oh, I mean, if you think about it, I'm getting a little off topic here, but the first little girl when the schools weren't segregated anymore.
Ruby Bridges,
she's still alive. Yes.
Yeah.
She's still alive. Like, oh my God. It feels like forever ago, and it wasn't. So, anyway, back on track. Her grandfather had a very harsh childhood, which she detailed in her autobiography. I did not have a chance to read the autobiography, but from what I can tell, it is held in very high regard, so I do suggest going to read that. But he had a really harsh childhood, which left him not only physically, but psychologically changed.
Yeah.
And he had a very fierce determination to fight injustice as he saw it because of what he went through. Totally understandable.
Right.
And he wanted to stand up for his beliefs and his self-respect like he should have. And these principles, because he lived in such close proximity to Rosa, he instilled those in Rosa as well. And she also has a little brother. I didn't really hear much about him.
Okay.
He lived and had kids and stuff, but I don't know what he was up to.
Yeah.
And in her autobiography, she wrote that she remembers at the ripe age of 6 years old, waiting up with him when he would stay awake and armed during the night to protect his family from the KKK.
Wow.
That was in the area.
Oh my God, that is so scary. Oh my God.
Yeah. She'd sit with him while he's just sat on the porch armed. Wow. I don't know if it's the porch, but that
horrifying.
broke my heart. Oh. And apparently around the age of 10, so she's feisty anyway. I love this girl. So at the age of 10, a white boy was threatening to harm her, beat her up or whatever. So she picked up a brick and was about to hit him with it.
Oh, damn.
And her grandmother, like, got on to her. And she said, quote, she was pissed. Rosa was so mad. And she said, quote, "I would rather be lynched than live to be mistreated."
Wow.
At 10.
That's crazy. And how sad, like, as a 10-year-old, to know what lynching is. Yeah. But then to say, like, to just have that conviction of, like, I would rather be horrifically murdered by white people than be subjugated. Yeah. Like, that's so, that's my heavy. Stomach hurts. At 10 years old.
So, as a child, she went to an industrial school for girls and then later enrolled in the Alabama State Teachers College for Negroes. That's what it was called at the time. It is now present-day Alabama State University.
Okay.
And I did not know this about the school, but it was run by all white women. Okay. And this was her first experience with white women treating her with dignity and respect and as equals. And from what I can tell, the teachers were beloved. Not necessarily in the community, maybe in the black community, but not, they were actually kind of ostracized for what they were doing. And a lot of the teachers found it easier to just go to black churches instead of white churches. Because remember, guys, we are segregated at this point. Right. So they would be welcomed into the black churches because they couldn't go to the white churches because they were ostracized. But they believed so wholeheartedly in what they were doing that they were like, whatever. And this was basically, I know we said it's like a college. It's basically high school. Mm-hmm. The school was burned down twice. But obviously it's still around. But yeah, it was Jim Crow era. And unfortunately, she was forced to withdraw herself from classes in the 11th grade. So, think of high school in the 11th grade because her grandmother became ill. And then shortly after, her mother became chronically ill. So she wouldn't die until years later, but she did end up having to take care of her mother. And I believe her grandmother died not too long after this situation.
That's sad.
But she did become active in the civil rights movement at a very young age. And from what I can tell, this started in 1932. When she was a ripe age of 19 years old, she married a local barber named Raymond Parks. Okay. And he was 10 years older than her. And they just look so cute. They stayed married forever.
Oh.
And I have a picture of him in our whatevers.
The skit.
In the skit. Yeah. In the notes or whatever. But I know. And they never had children. I don't know under what circumstance they never had children. I don't know if it was a choice or if not, but no one ever said. So they didn't have kids. And but she said that she was very close to her nieces and nephews. And she was basically another mother or the other mother to her nieces and nephews. And so Raymond was already active in fighting to end the racial injustice that he was seeing. And he was a longtime member of the NAACP. Mm-hmm. And y'all, that stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, if y'all don't know. I will not be saying that again. You get NAACP. And Raymond actually supported Rosa in her going back to finish her diploma and get her degree, which she did the following year. So we love a supportive man.
Yes.
And even though he was like, I really don't want you to get too involved in the movement for your own safety, which was a big issue, a big glaring issue at the time.
Right.
They ended up together working on, you know, in organizations for the movement. Now, I think it's very important to take just a little second. I feel like we need to do a deep dive on the Jim Crow era sometime soon. But
yeah, it's come up in like bits and pieces here and there.
But I think let's do a quick overview for those who might not know the extent of the injustice that was happening. Because talking with people like Shy, I don't think things are being taught the way they should be.
Exactly.
And so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the uncomfortable stuff, guys. It's not fun, but it's important.
Right.
So, starting in 1877, and guys, this is very brief, okay? We'll get into it deeper at a different episode, but very brief. So, following the Reconstruction, and
was
ratification.
This was after the Civil War.
Yes, after the Civil War. And then the ratification of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. Southern state legislators, I don't know why that word fucks me up every time. Legislators, kind of were like, ooh, y'all have too many rights, and we don't like that.
Oh my gosh, you're coming in, like, you're holding elected positions in governments.
You own land. Ew. Yeah.
You can vote. Ooh.
Oh. God, if I could go back and just kick everyone in the shin.
What was that guy's name that was, like, shooting racists with guns?
Oh, God.
Oh, what was his name?
It was, what was his name? He was one of my favorite people.
He had a crazy name.
Okay, boxer named after...
It's Muhammad Ali's real name.
Yes. Cassius Clay! Jesus!
Yes.
Or Cassius Clay. Cassius Clay. Jesus. Okay, yeah, we need more Cassius Clays in this area right now. He would have rounded it all out. He would have taken care of everything.
Just shot everyone on sight.
Yes. In a world of hateful Jim Crow era supporting people, be Cassius Clay, okay? He didn't give two shits. And then turned around and bought Alaska. I don't know. He's just out there doing shit. Guys, you gotta listen to that episode. He's just doing shit. So, anyway, the legislators enacted these laws that were very racially discriminatory, and they are known as the Jim Crow laws. Why? I don't know. We'll look into that later. But they mandated the segregation of schools, parks, libraries, cemeteries, restrooms, transportation, restaurants, and pretty much anything public and some private.
Just know that if we're talking about a black person between 1865 and 1965, they were victims of Jim Crow.
Oh, 100%. And this did lead to like a mass exodus of black people in the South to other states, but it was kind of just as bad out there.
Yeah.
Like they went out west and then the white people over there didn't want them. And then the Native Americans were like, great, more people coming in. Like,
yeah,
it was not good anywhere. And one of the worst things that they did was they enacted poll tests and poll taxes. So you had to pass a literary test and you had to pay to vote, which leaves out, and this was only if you were a colored person, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And people have shared like what the tests look like. I would need to do research into the accuracy of these, but these tests were like purposely almost impossible to do unless you had
Yes.
like a doctorate degree. And most people coming out of the being emancipated did not have formal educations.
Because it was not a requirement at that point.
And at some points it was illegal if you were enslaved to know how to read and write.
And like Morgan said earlier, these other policies within the Jim Crow era disenfranchised a bunch of elected African Americans that were sitting at the time. So they got the boot and kicked them out of office. And for reference, Rosa Parks was not poor and was very educated. It took her 3 tries to be able to vote. That's how hard it was.
That shit's crazy.
How anyone can justify this. Again, Cassius Clay energy. Oof, okay. But if you didn't do what they said, you would be intimidated. You would get beat up. Lynched, maybe.
Yeah.
And it just dissolved. So so there were a couple different things that happened during these. It's not just like the law went into effect, law came out of effect. This is why we need to do a deep dive. But it was upheld in 1896 when the Supreme Court ruled in Plessy versus Ferguson that separate but equal was constitutional.
Last year we did talk about that when we spoke about oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Mr. Civil Rights.
We're gonna bring Thurgood
Marshall. Yeah.
Yes.
We talk a lot about Plessy versus Ferguson in the Thurgood Marshall episode from last year. So if you want to know more about that, go listen to that episode.
We're plugging ourselves a lot today.
I'm thinking about like covering Wilma Rudolph and all of the Jim Crow discrimination she experienced, and oh gosh, we've done so many people, all their names are blurring together. The guy who stole the ship out of Charleston.
Oh, right.
Robert, I keep on saying Robert Smith, and that's not his name. Robert
Smalls. Robert Smalls.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Robert Smalls he became an elected official after the Civil War ended, and he was in a position of government in South Carolina, and he was ousted because of these racist white legislators, and the Democratic Party at the time was like, no, you cannot be black and be in government. No.
Rude. Well, then he turned around and bought his
enslaver's mansion. The ultimate power move. Go listen to the Robert Smalls episode.
Yes.
It is crazy.
Do it. Okay, so a couple things that would eventually dissolve the Jim Crow era, which lasted far too long.
Yes.
By the way.
Yes.
So Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas.
Also in Thurgood Marshall's episode.
Then the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and then the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and the Fair Housing Act of 1968. Those 4 basically were like, screw you, we're done with that. And that's been the end of that.
Which, if you're keeping track, is almost 100 years after the end of the Civil War that ended slavery. And it wasn't until 100 years later that they actually codified into law, like, maybe black people should have equal rights.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Maybe there are people too. I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but every body is a body. Like every person is a person. So stop being hateful. Jesus.
Yes.
We shouldn't be talking about this in 2026. We shouldn't be. Oh, God, we're Be
We're
like
getting all
Cassius.
heated here.
We're getting
On ill-equipped history. Yeah. We're slowly turning into Cassius Clay. Like, okay,
there we are.
where's my cannon?
Where's my cannon? Trusty Bowie knife. I need it. Oh my god. Okay, so back to Rosa. Okay. So this is what she's working with here. We are, yes, at the tail end, you know, within the last 20 years we're talking of Jim Crow era, but it's still firm.
Yes.
And in December of 1943, Rosa joined the Montgomery chapter of the NAACP. And she was elected secretary of the Montgomery chapter. And she worked closely with the president, Edgar Daniel Nixon, or E.D. Nixon, as he goes by. And Nixon was a railroad porter and a big advocate for Black people who wanted to register to vote. And as the president of not only the NAACP, but he was also the president of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters Union.
Okay.
We don't have time to get into that, but he was that. So Martin Luther King described him as, quote, one of the chief voices of the Negro community in the area of civil rights. That was a quote from MLK Jr. And also, quote, a symbol of the hopes and aspirations of the long oppressed people of the state of Alabama.
Wow.
So we're talking a big figurehead. So Rosa Parks is, you know, bumping elbows with these people and doing her part. She's the secretary, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
And that same year in 1943, 12 years before the big bus incident, she had a little run-in with James Blake, who was the bus driver, who would also be the bus driver at the big bus incident. So she had two run-ins with this guy. I don't know what the chances are that would happen, but so
that's
like in her
crazy
skit,
to think about.
I know. The chances are, like, in a big city like Montgomery.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So she stepped onto this very crowded bus, paid her fare in the front, and what was supposed to happen was the Black bus riders were supposed to disembark, walk around, and get on through the back of the bus, which is stupid.
It is stupid.
So stupid.
It doesn't... Yeah.
No, it doesn't make any sense. It's just to degrade you is
Right.
all it is. And
Right.
make you feel lesser than. And it's... Ugh! Cassius. Stay inside. Okay. So, she stood her ground. Blake ended up, like, pulling her coat sleeve and was, like, demanding her cooperation. And she just left the bus rather than giving in. What I've noticed from her is that she seems to be kind of quiet, kind of like a silent rebellion almost, where she's not going to yell, she's not going to scream at you, but she's just going to be like, no, thank you, I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so then she just continued on with her life. She was still a seamstress at a local department store in Montgomery. And by 1955, she was a very established organizer and leader in the civil rights movement in Alabama. She was a well-known person in the movement. So let's fast forward to the next bus boycott. So let's get into the law just a little bit. So segregation, as it was written in the law, that the front of the bus was reserved for white citizens and the back was reserved for Black. It was only technically by custom, by just the way they were doing things, that the bus driver actually had any authority to ask a Black person to give up their seat for a white person. And there were two contradictory laws in the books in Montgomery at the time. One says the segregation must be enforced. The other, which conveniently most people ignored, said that no person, black or white, could be asked to give up their seat even if there were no other seat on the bus available. So once you're sitting, you're fine. That's your seat. But of course, that was the one that most people would conveniently ignore.
Right.
And it wasn't uncommon for a bus driver to be like, oh, we're out of seats for the white folk. You guys have to move.
And I'm sure, like, that wasn't enforced because the victims, I'm sure, were primarily black bus riders. And then if they went to the police, like, hey, they're having me break the law by giving it my seat, the police would have been like, okay, whatever.
Shut up. Yeah, go away. So a lot of the black residents in the Montgomery area tried to avoid the buses as much as possible just because they found it very demeaning, which it was.
Yeah.
But still, 70% of, roughly, or more, 70% or more of the drivers, of the riders of the buses were black residents of Montgomery. So you've got the majority of the riders of this bus are the people you're discriminating against. And on Thursday, December the 1st of 1955, Rosa Parks, she's 42 years old. Bless her heart, she was coming home from a long day working at the store. And at one point on the route, a white guy got on and there was no seat for him. So the bus driver said, okay, so there's like a line.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, the 4 people on the front of the black section need to get up and stand in the back of the bus to let this one white guy sit down. And the 3 obeyed. And Rosa just sat there very quietly, just sat there. Eventually, 2 police officers approached. Other riders were asking, like, hey, did you hear him? And she was like, yeah, I heard him. And I just love the way she said it. Like, yeah, I heard him say that.
I'm not deaf.
No. And he was like, well, why are you not moving? I just don't feel like I have to. I don't feel like I should have to. That's all she said.
Amazing, incredible, iconic, fabulous queen.
Yeah, I don't feel like you should have to either, Rosa. That was your seat, damn it.
Yeah.
And
first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Finders keepers.
So fuck off. And eventually these 2 police officers did put her into custody. She would be released later that day. It's interesting to hear that she actually had, it was almost kind of like a breaking point for her because she worked very closely with the youth division in the Montgomery branch of the NAACP.
Mm-hmm.
And just 4 days before the incident, she had attended a meeting where she learned that there had been a lynching of a 14-year-old Emmett Till.
Oh, Emmett Till. Ugh.
And she had attended a meeting where she learned that the murderers were acquitted.
Ugh. Also, look up what happened to Emmett Till at your own discretion.
Yes.
It is horrific. It is, like, I'm just thinking about what happened to this boy is, like, giving me shivers all the way down to my toes, and I'm not exaggerating. It is horrible. Like,
yeah.
So if you need to look it up, just do it at your own discretion, preferably without children around, because it is awful.
Yeah. This is us warning you.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about that. But just 4 days before that, she learned that they were getting acquitted. And she was just fed up.
Yeah.
She was so tired of it. She was like, you know what? And it just kind of pushed her over the edge. And that's why she says that she ended up just being like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm done. So this is turning into something bigger. So she used her one phone call to call her husband. And somehow Mr. Nixon found out what had happened and basically met her at the jail while she was getting out, being like, I've got plans. I need this.
Okay.
So she was released. Nixon had been hoping to find someone as courageous and of integrity to become like a plaintiff in a case that might actually like test the validity of these segregation laws. And he convinced Parks and her family that like Rosa was the plaintiff for this.
Mm-hmm.
And another idea rose that, you know, the trial is going to be on December the 5th. We should have a bus boycott on the day of her trial. So by midnight, 35,000 flyers were being sent out and distributed with the black school children, and it would inform their parents of the planned boycott.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm sure they sent them out all over the place too, but that's smart. That's so smart. And on December the 5th, she was found guilty of violating the segregation laws, given a suspended sentence, and fined $10 plus $4 in court costs. That seems very cheap.
I'm going to look up how much that was. What year was this? 1955?
Yes.
Let's see. 44 in 1955.
Oh, just $4.
Oh, yeah, that's... Wait,
yeah.
I meant 14, not...
Oh, okay.
Not
I was
44.
like, $10
Sorry.
and $4. Okay.
I'm sorry. I can't add.
No, you're fine. That's okay. Math is hard.
So it's about almost $170 today.
Yeah. I'd pay that all day long.
But I can see how, like, you know, if you're struggling for money, that could be difficult to pay. Like, that's $170 isn't cheap.
Nothing.
Isn't nothing.
Yeah.
But I also understand, you know, it's just money as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, this is the beginning of the movement.
Yeah. 100%. So that day, the bus boycott was way bigger than they even anticipated. And Nixon and some other ministers decided to take this momentum, take this movement, and form the Montgomery Improvement Association, the MIA, and actually manage the boycott and further the boycott. So they elected, you know, a little known guy at the time, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Just, who's that guy? I never heard of him.
Who was only 26 at the time.
That is crazy.
26. A fresh little baby, Martin Luther King. And he was actually new to Montgomery at the time, too, to be the MIA's president. And so they continued this bus boycott, and it would last over a year. And the black residents would carpool, they would ride in only black-owned cabs, or they walked sometimes up to 20 miles just to not get on the bus.
That's commitment right there.
That is commitment, and it worked because the boycott, it screwed the profit so bad of the public buses that dozens of these buses just sat there for months.
Wow. And I wonder,
they were
too,
70%.
Yeah, and I wonder, too, if they were, white people who maybe also boycotted in solidarity, Like,
Yeah.
there had to have been at least one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All the teachers at the university.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where you get them. Mm-hmm. Right in the wallet.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, this did turn into violence because it always freaking does.
Yeah.
And Nixon and MLK's houses were bombed during this time.
What?
Yes.
That is crazy.
I didn't see any, reported fatalities. I know Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s family was fine.
Mm-hmm. That is crazy. To bomb someone's house.
Yes.
That is beyond.
The amount of hatred you have to have in your heart just for someone looking different than you is astonishing and disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
To bomb their house. So, everyone in the movement, undeterred. They're like, continue on.
Yeah.
Y'all. And this whole Montgomery saga drama was gaining attention, nationally and internationally.
Yeah.
So, let's move on to the case that changed pretty much it all. It snowballed from here. So, it was actually the case of Browder versus Gale that made its way to the Supreme Court. This does not include Rosa Parks, for the sole reason that Rosa Parks' case was still kind of active at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pending in state courts.
Yeah,
and they didn't. It
hadn't gone through all the appeals and stuff to get to
right.
the Supreme Court, right?
So they didn't want her case pending interfere and give loopholes to this other case, or she would have been included in it.
Makes
and
sense.
by all accounts, Rosa was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
So this was filed by Fred Gray and Charles D. Langford on behalf of 4 black women who had been mistreated on city buses. And they are Aurelia Browder, Susie McDonald, Claudette Colvin, Mary Louise Smith, and Janetta Reese. Now, notice I said 5 names. Miss Reese was pressured to withdraw the same month. One source said it was because she had a white employer who was like, you'll lose your job, basically, if you
that sucks.
are part of this. I don't know the validity of that, but, it would make sense if someone said that. So, but yeah, so they didn't want her part of it because, quote, they wanted the court to have only one issue to decide: the constitutionality of the laws requiring segregation on the buses.
Right.
And
makes sense.
Fred Gray was aided by no other than Thurgood Marshall. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And on November 13th of 1956, so this is almost a year later, because she was arrested December the 1st.
Right.
So it took a year. The Supreme Court ruled that bus segregation was unconstitutional.
Woo!
Woo! And the boycott ended December the 20th. So that's when the court's written order finally arrived in Montgomery. It was the day after that. So December 20th, the boycott ended. And MLK addressed a mass meeting at Holt Street Baptist Church the next evening, saying the decision was a, quote, reaffirmation of the principle that separate facilities are inherently unequal, and that the old Plessy doctrine of separate but equal is no longer valid either sociologically or legally.
Woo-hoo!
And because of this, because her actions sparked a whole snowball of events, Parks became known as the mother of the civil rights movement.
All right.
All right. So, what do you do now? You're 43 and the mother of the civil rights movement. You move.
Oh.
Because you lost your job at the department store.
Mm.
Your husband lost his job as a barber at a local Air Force base.
Damn.
Because his boss would not let him talk about the legal case. So he ended up losing his job.
Okay.
And they were still getting harassed because of the boycott. And also, what I didn't know is that apparently Rosa supported the Black Power movement. In, I'm sure, her own way. I'm not saying she was part of it, but the Black Power movement, if y'all didn't know, disagreed with the methods of Martin Luther King Jr.
Mm-hmm. They were a little bit more militant.
Oh, they were aggressive, to say the least.
Yeah.
I don't blame them, but they were aggressive. MLK was like, no, we need to be peaceful. So they're on two sides of the coin. So I think Rosa Parks agreeing with really anything of the Black Power movement kind of pushed her away from the other side.
Yeah.
So all of this combined, they needed a new start. So they moved to Hampton, Virginia for a little bit, but then later went to Detroit and ended up staying in Detroit.
Okay.
And she, because she's a badass woman, just worked in Detroit's civil rights movement. She's like,
Nice.
You know what? I'll just make my stamp here. She was a very active member in several organizations. She even helped investigate the killing of 3 black teenagers in the race riot in Detroit in 1967.
Oh, wow.
In 1965, she became the administrative aide in the Detroit office of Congressman John Conyers Jr., and she would hold that position until 1988 when she retired. So she worked with constituents on issues like job discrimination, education, and affordable housing while in this position.
That's awesome.
Because she's a badass. So her husband, brother, and mother unfortunately all passed away of cancer between 1977 and 1979.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's so sad.
2 years. Yeah. And by 1980, she was suffering from financial issues and some health troubles, but she persevered. She was almost evicted out of her house, but local community members came and support of her.
Oh,
so
good.
She was okay. And the years after her retirement, so in 1987, she co-founded the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute for Self-Development to help the youth of Detroit.
Okay.
She's amazing. And she wrote her autobiography, Rosa Parks, My Story, and then would travel to support the civil rights events and all that. Just out there doing shit still. So, over her years, she received some honors. So she earned the NAACP's Springern Medal, Springern Medal in 1979, the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1996, and the Congressional Gold Medal in 1999, which is the highest honor the United States can give to a civilian. And other recipients include George Washington, Thomas Edison, Betty Ford, and Mother Teresa.
All right.
Yeah, so she's up there. And on October 24th of 2005, she was 92. She died of natural causes.
Wow.
She became the first woman in the nation's history to lie under the U.S. Capitol Rotunda.
Oh, that gave me chills.
I know. And she left behind a very obviously rich legacy behind her.
Yeah.
And California, Missouri, Ohio, and Oregon commemorate Rosa Parks Day every year. And there are highways in Missouri, Michigan, and Pennsylvania that have her name.
I want to say there's one in Nashville, too. There's a Rosa Parks Boulevard.
Oh, is there? Good. There should be one everywhere. So I will leave you with a quote that I felt spoke to me. A lot of people over the years have tried to kind of diminish what she did as, you know, she was just a seamstress who was tired and just didn't want to move. But she, in her autobiography, was like, no, I did that on purpose. It was with intention.
Yeah.
And she said, quote, "People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired, but that isn't true. I was not tired physically, or no more tired than I usually was at the end of a working day. I was not old, although some people have an image of me as being old then. I was 42. No, the only tired I was tired of giving in."
Finger snaps to Rosa Parks.
Oh my God. Oh, to have met her.
I can't. Ugh, that would have been amazing.
I think she's great. I love her.
I do too.
Oh. And to think that in 2005, when she passed away, we were 12 years old. Yeah. And that feels like a life. Like, it doesn't feel like that our lifetimes should overlap.
I know, right?
It just doesn't.
Because she's so... I mean, almost every picture of her is a black and white photo. You know?
Yes.
Like, she's held up in the annals of history. Like, I don't know. Like, she's not... She's almost not a person, you know? Like... It's gotten to the point where Rosa Parks is almost an idea.
Yeah.
You know, like a symbol. Yeah. And not a human being who was a seamstress and who had a husband and was like fed up with this bullshit.
Family. And just one day was like,
she snapped.
Fuck it. She's like, fuck it. I'm not moving. I'm not moving for you.
Yeah.
And her quiet, she didn't yell. She didn't physically fight. She didn't cause this. I mean, I guess she did cause a scene, but like, that wasn't what she was doing. She just wasn't said
her
no.
Fault. She said no, and then everyone else caused a scene around her.
Yeah. No. She's allowed to say no. No is a full sentence.
Mm-hmm.
No. And because of that, everything snowballed after. Like, you almost can't even talk about her without talking about the Montgomery bus boycott.
Right.
Because she started it. She sparked it. And if it wasn't for that, the segregation on the bus wouldn't have been deemed unconstitutional. Well, then, now the courts are like, well, if you can't segregate on the bus, can you segregate other places? No.
Right.
Snowball. Her one act changed everything.
Ugh.
The small act of saying no. My patoot's not moving. Could you imagine?
I am Rosa Parks right here.
You're Rosa Parks right here.
That'd be really funny if she looked up at the bus driver and said, "My patoot's not moving." That would be amazing.
Could that be? Oh, oh God, because somebody's got like tattoos about powerful things and that would be. What if the powerful thing she said was, "My patoot's not moving"? Someone's got it tattooed on their arm in beautiful script.
Oh, I just taken a sip of my drink and I was trying not to spew everywhere.
Should we make that a shirt? Just Rosa Parks, "My patoot's not moving."
And on the back it can say, "I'm Rosa Parked."
I'm Rosa Parks. "My patoot's not moving."
Let us know if you want us to make a shirt.
Oh, please do. Any excuse.
How will we spell that? Patoot? Patoot.
Yeah, Patoot. Yeah. Just her in a bus seat, just no.
See, and I love this picture of her that you posted in the show notes where she's like smiling and she's beautiful, and I'm just imagining in flowery script, "My patoot's not moving." Just okay. Well, let us know if you want us to make a shirt.
Yes. Please do. We're honestly any excuse at this point to make this shirt. We'll do it. One of you could be like, "I want it." We'll make it.
Okay.
We'll make it.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Emily. This was amazing and incredible to learn a bit more about the life behind the legend.
This is one of those episodes that I feel like we were gypped on in school. Okay, Rosa Parks, she sat on a bus, she said no, and then what? And then what? Tell me more. And I'm so glad we dove into her life. We dove in.
Splish splash.
Can I get off topic for a second?
Sure.
My husband's getting his scuba diving license currently. It just reminded me. He just informed me one day. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to the pool." What?
Did he move on from getting his pilot's license and is now wanting to get his scuba diving license?
Oh, no. The pilot's license is just, you gotta have a plane. It's just more expensive. This is the more attainable one for right now. The pilot's license has always been like when the kids are grown and out of the house. So
okay,
we're gonna end up with both, I think. And he's talking about me getting mine too. I'm not opposed. I think it's great. Random, but yeah, I'm here for it. Now we'll have to go on vacation.
Where you can scuba dive. I don't know if the Hiwassee River has great visibility for scuba diving.
Upriver. Yeah. Actually, we have a friend that comes up, and if the water's high enough, he's not very deep, but he's scuba diving.
There you go.
He's finding some treasures.
There you go. You can find a bunch of lost sunglasses and beer cans. Maybe a few cell phones here and there.
I mean, you never know. As long as there's not like a random body part, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we should do socials.
Let's do socials.
Okay, so you can find us on Facebook.
Ill-Equipped History Podcast Group and Page. I don't know why I said it like that.
That's okay. Instagram.
At Ill-Equipped History.
TikTok.
At Ill-Equipped History.
Gmail.
Ill-equippedhistory@gmail.com.
And Patreon.
Patreon.com/ill-equippedhistory, where we have bonus episodes every month. And this month's bonus episode is all about the CIA.
And we are uncovering old operations and projects that you might or might not have heard of.
it should be crazy.
Shit do be crazy.
Oh, there's something. Oh, also on our TikTok, we are starting a new series, and if you follow us on TikTok, we hope you like it. I finally got mine turned into Shy so she can edit it, but we're trying to do like little history snippets of like 2 minutes, and just doing a quick rundown.
Yeah, I think they're great. Shy's doing an amazing job at editing them. I shouldn't have laughed, but when we were doing the Indian Removal Act, the Trail of Tears one, the first one, for some reason, when I said a lot of them died, she zoomed into one in the background of like a guy being buried. And I'm like, why was that funny? Why was it? How did you make that funny? You guys got to watch it to understand. I swear I'm not normally that morbid, but I don't know. It's just the way it took me off guard.
I need to rewatch it because I was watching your videos to get an idea of how I should do mine, which whenever mine comes out, you can tell I'm in the middle of an ice apocalypse because I have an oversized hoodie, an electric blanket, and like 2 more blankets on top of me.
Yeah.
And a pillow. Because
I haven't watched your raw one yet, so I need to.
It was heckin' cold, okay?
And
I had electricity and power, and I have no insulation in my house. So it has been like 59, 60 degrees every day in my house with the heat on.
I'm telling you, that's why your 65 degrees with the terracotta candles was a whole different kind of achievement. Your house is not known for its insulation.
No.
How did you keep that heat in? I'm so impressed.
Body heat and fire.
Oh my God. Did you hang blankets in the doors? In one room?
Over our big picture window.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
And then we put towels and blankets in like the openings.
Yeah.
Of the doors. Yeah.
Yeah. I've done that before. You just gotta close yourself off into one room and let the rest of the house get cold. Yeah,
I had to do that. Kyle, I think, had gone to see his family, and it was over Christmas break, and it wasn't an ice storm like this time, but we got a few inches of snow, and it turned into ice later, and it got down to like 2 degrees, and I never lost power this day, but I had myself and Jack, who's my little Chihuahua mix, and I had electric heaters and electric blankets and heating pads, and in the living room where I was and like watching TV and stuff, it was very nice and cozy. Meanwhile, when I would go to the bathroom, there was ice forming on the inside of my double-paned window.
No, that's too cold. No. I don't like that.
Yeah. So it got real cold. And actually ice formed on our windows again in the bathroom.
No, I'm not built for this. I was carrying my daughter the other day. We had to go to Home Depot to get some more pellets for our pellet stove. And the girl was not having a good time. She is not built for this weather.
Mm-hmm.
And she went outside and immediately was about in tears. She was like, it's cold. And this is my jacket. My face hurts.
Oh, my
And I was
goodness.
like, fine, I'll carry you to the truck. So I picked her up and I carried her to the truck. And I was like, baby, are you just not made for this? She was like, no. And I was like, are you a summer girly? And she went,
See, okay, I love winter. Like, I don't like the ice. I'm not a big snow, but I love cold weather. So, like, the first morning we didn't have power, I volunteered to go out and cook us breakfast on the charcoal grill. And I was plenty warm. I had my big oversized hoodie that, I can go out in the snow and I'm warm in it. And, like, everyone was like, do you want to come inside? And I was like, no, I just want to be out here and look at the beautiful trees that look like, the trees, they were coated in about 1/2 inch thick ice, and the sun was like reflecting, so everything was like glittering and it was beautiful. And I was just like sitting in the quiet. There weren't even birds chirping, and I was just sitting in like just in the cold and cozy at the same time, and it was just so good. I got actually my face got raw being out in the cold for so long. And I was like, why does my face hurt so bad? Like later when I got inside, and Kyle's like, probably because you're outside for like 4 hours. And I was like,
God.
But I loved it. I was just having a great time because I like being cold and then being warm in the cold. And I have a very high tolerance for cold.
There is not a moment in my life where I think I want to be cold. Guys, this is how bad my body is. I'm cold all the time. Mm-hmm. I bought a mood ring, a $6 mood ring when I went to Nashville. Just because I wanted a ring that if I didn't want to wear my wedding band, say to Lowe's, I can take this one. I don't care if it gets scratched up. It was $6, whatever. And it's a mood ring. And it looks like a wedding band. It's really cute.
Yeah.
So I thought I bought a defective wedding band because it just stayed on black. And it turns out that my hands are just so cold all the time that it just doesn't change from black. My mother-in-law put it on and it went to blue. I was like, that's not good. That can't be right.
You need to improve your circulation.
Sometimes my arms just go numb.
That's not good.
No, I know.
You need to start wearing like compression sleeves or something. Like you got your socks, you got your sleeves.
I'm wearing diabetic socks right now. I am 32.
She got busted feet and
I got busted
legs.
Everything. Sometimes I'll just be sitting on the couch and I'll just put my hand in the air because it's the only way to get it going again. I'm like asking a question.
Girl.
It's so bad. And I've always been like this. There was like a brief moment after having my daughter that I was hot all the time, but I think it's because I had gained weight.
Your hormones all over the place.
And now I can't regulate for crap. I'll either be hot or cold or hot or cold. Mostly cold. The hot doesn't last very long and it's never in my hands. It's always just in my core. But my hands are cold.
Anyway, we got real off topic.
Sorry. Okay, well, we hope you liked this episode. We love Rosa. And, be like Rosa.
Just say no.
Just say no. And if they don't listen to you, be like Cassius.
Find your cannon.
Find your cannon, your Bowie knife, and like, what's the word? Like defend the defenses? Like arm the defenses?
Yeah.
He definitely shot at people from a newspaper building. So it was his own newspaper building. So, sometimes pull up arms. Fight the masses. Buy Alaska. Okay. We're going to go.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.